Good morning everyone, welcome to my Saturday bonus stream. A little bit of unexpected free time today, so I figured why not get out in the plane and do a stream with you all. So we're going from Stansted airport today, so just north of London. We're going all the way down to Malta. So flight time, we're looking at about 2 hours and 45 minutes there or thereabouts. Good morning, Harry. How are you? Nice to see you. Bit unusual for us to be streaming on a Saturday, I know, but it's quite cool as well because I don't often get an opportunity to try different times. Usually it's the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday slots I have available, if all of those are available. So it's quite cool that we've got today to try something a little bit different. So let's jump inside the flight deck and see what's going on. Alright, batteries 1, 2, and we'll have ground power as well, because why not? The frames per second seem nice and steady today, that's always good. It means my new graphic settings are working. Alright, let's download our flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. EGSS LMML. By DCT. DCT. Okay, so it looks... Are we going DCT, DCT? Loads of DCTs here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Services, baggage truck, catering truck. If indeed they're available, which they might not be. Quite a bit of fuel required today. Obviously it's a longer flight, still not using the center tank, just the outer tanks. And the payload today, full house. Nice. Right, let's get back up to this top panel and see what's what. So we'll get the APU on. So APU master, wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3, and start. And we wait.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
There we go, welcome aboard. How's the war zoning going, Harry? I must admit, I've fallen off the bandwagon a little bit the last week or two. Touchdown zone today. Don't get your hopes up, Harry. God, blimey. Don't get your hopes up. APU bleed. Fuel pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably don't need the center ones, but whatever. Navs. 1, 2, oops, 3. I'm using a new mouse today, so I might be a little bit weird with the mouse. Oxygen. Emergency lights arm. No smoking because, well, you know. Logo on. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Right, and the screen's just a touch. Today is a little bit of a test for my graphics settings as well. I'm making a video. Making a video about the my settings that I use for Flight Sim, and I kind of made the video talking about it, going through it all, but now I need to actually use these settings that I've kind of said are good So we'll see if the frame rate holds up today before I publish the video. A good fly, thank you very much indeed. Doing the M4 mastery, wow. Fair play. Fair play. I'm just not loving it as much recently, Harry, I don't know why. Alright, init pres. Let's pull this data in from SitBrief. 2 hours 42 minutes, that's good. Came second in Resurgence last night, so it's not too bad. That probably could be better. No, annoyingly, we got chucked in because they got rid of duos. I was playing as a duo. But we got chucked into trios, and they didn't give us a third. Alright, so we'll do flaps 1 today. Take off, because it's all good. Minus 51 is our flex temp. (134) V1, 135 rotate, 139 V2. Good. Okay, let's look at this flight plan. So we're going to use runway 22 to take off. There we go. And we're going to use the num, what's it called? Yeah, num 1R. Now coming into Malta is going to be a bit interesting how we plan that one out, because Chartfox doesn't have any charts. So all I've really got to go on is what SimBrief's chucked at me. So we'll do ILS 3.1. So we've got an ILS, that's one thing. Yeah, no staff. Alright then. Good times. Well, let's chuck this into plan. We'll have a look. So we've obviously got a discontinuity there. That's a big discontinuity, isn't it? That's not so bad, so we'll join that. We'll just clear this one. Right in the screen as well. Clear. Clear. Nice. So down across France. No, I don't, Harry. No, don't know that. Alright, what's going on here then? So it wants us to fly right past. Let's get ourselves properly zoomed in for this. So GZO, GZO. So then we go to Sudox, which is all the way out here. Then back to Sucal. And we come into land, and of course the plane is just getting this completely wrong, isn't it? Can't quite figure out that's what we want to do. So I think what we'll do at GZO, we'll take manual control, and we'll basically do what we should be doing, but not what the plane is wanting to do. We'll come out to Sudox, sort of do a graceful loop. Maybe sort of come out almost like a teardrop and around like that, then come back in on final. And that should do us nicely. Harry, you're first officer today. What are you talking about? I need you up front. Nick, good morning, good evening. How are you? Okay, so that's the flight plan done. What do I need to do now? Because I'm not using my checklist, I'm just sort of winging it, no pun intended. 1011 local pressure. One zero one one. So what's the plan on the way out? Let's have a look. So I imagine we're going to have some constraints. If we put the constraints on. Yeah, so above 3,000 by there. What's into plan? And then we can see it on the map as well as the... yeah, so above 3, at 4. Oh, okay, so absolutely at 4,000. Remain at 4. Until we get to Nugbo. Then... away we go, flight level 350. And what's the plan on the way down? 3,000, so just 3,000 straight away. At Sudox, which is where we're going to do that kind of turn. Ashley, good morning. Peter Pan, nice to see you again. Chat's busy this morning. I should stream on a Saturday more often. I say it's an unexpected bit of free time today, so I was like, let's try a Saturday. I've never done a Saturday stream, I don't think. Not one like this, anyway. Figured I'd see what's up with a Saturday stream. So I'm going to put 4,000 in the window because we're going to be limited to that. Let's brighten that up as well. There we go. 4,000 in the window makes sense. Good. Now, how did the services get on? That's what done. Lovely.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
So we're going to start thinking about pushback. I think the plan is... look at that livery. Self-congratulating myself. We'll push back and we'll get our tail around here by the car park. Then we'll come down this way and meander down to runway 22, which is up the end here, I believe. Unless I've made a terrible error of judgment. Yeah, that is right. Oh, you missed the New Zealand dive. Yeah, it was interesting. Wellington once again proved to be very, very tricky. I always seem to have trouble with Wellington. Very windy. It almost felt like we had a downdraft at the end that pushed us into the runway a little bit. And that's like the second or third time that's happened landing there. So I need to be much more aware of that. Maybe do some practicing. Queenstown was amazing though. Like, unbelievable Queenstown. I can't, I can only imagine what that's like to do that in real life. That must be incredible. Yeah, very windy indeed. I think I was unprepared for it. Right, we need to get pushback. So let's get the pushback tool. And we'll hope that it works. Okay, let's zoom us out just a touch, so we don't want to upset it. We push back to there. Good. Right, let's request a pushback. But yeah, the approach into Queenstown, I mean, like, that's something special. That really was cool. That felt very much like Innsbruck. Very Innsbrucky that felt. I should put snow on. I don't actually know what the weather's doing, actually. Are we on live weather? I thought we were. Yeah, we're on live weather. Which surprises me that it's so sunny, because where I am, it's awful weather today. Right, get that parking brake off. How bad was the snow yesterday? I mean, Harry, we avoided most of the snow. I think we got like a little tiny bit. But only on like the roofs of cars and the roofs of houses. Nothing actually settled on the ground. I think the further north you go, it gets quite bad though. Okay, let's set our flaps for takeoff. Okay, so what's going on here? So we'll get our engine selector switch back to normal. Predictive wind shear on. Lock the doors, flaps are set to 1, spoilers armed. Auto brake set to max. Turn off the bleed from the APU. Very good. So what if we do a takeoff config normal, seatbelt signs should have been on but weren't. Cabin's ready. Well remembered, Nick. Well remembered. There we go. Morning all. Okay, parking brake is off. Just turn the volume up a touch during taxi and take off, then I'll get it back down again once we're up. FPS is holding steady, as much as it ever does. So that's kind of good news. That means I'm not giving bad advice on my graphic settings when I publish that video. Okay, should we go down here? So the plan, I've got a little bit of a plan today. So my dog isn't very well, which is a bit sad. But he is on the mend. And speaking to the vets yesterday, alongside the medication he's been given, their advice was get him out for a walk. Kind of G him up a little bit, cheer him up, because that apparently can play a big role in his recovery. Now I hasten to add that I do walk him in any case. It's not like he doesn't get walks, but they said it's especially important that he gets a walk. And given that it's tipping down with rain here all day, I've got like an hour of dryness coming up at about 11 o'clock. So I think what I'll do is I'll get us up to cruise, and then I'll take a little break. I'll take the dog out for like half an hour or so. Let you soak up some views. And then I'll be back. AV Geek, yes, we've just started. Nice to have you in the chat, by the way. Nice to see you again. Yeah, the dog should be fine. He should be fine. It's we caught it in time. It didn't get too bad. These ground textures are good, aren't they? Look at that. Okay. Looking good. Takeoff config, are we still normal? Yes, we are. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I feel like I might be forgetting something. I think we're good. Transition altitude 6,000 today, so just after, is it Nubgo, whatever that waypoint's called. Teach a dog to fly the airplane. I tell you what, Nick. One idea I had for this channel was to use the dog. I was going to sit the dog in front of my green screen, point the camera at him, just like basically tell him to sit. And he's a really good dog. If you just say sit, he'll just sit and he'll stay. And then he'll obviously just kind of sit there moving his head around, looking at stuff. Then I thought if I could record that and then almost like overlay the dog in like the bottom left or the bottom right of the screen, and just call the channel like Captain Dog or something. Just make out that the dog's flying the plane. That was genuinely one idea I had for the channel, and then I thought I'll just do it myself. not make the dog do it all. Alright, lined up, ready to go. Runway 22, Harry. Okay, let's get this back in arc before we go. So as you can see, we're going to take a turn to the right, get up to 4,000, stay at 4,000, and then that'll be sorted. Right, clear for takeoff, let's go. Just hold it on the brakes. Take a thrust. A little bit of right rudder required to keep us on the centre line. A lot more right rudder required to keep us on the centre line. Wow, that is quite a lot. Okay, let's rotate. Positive brake, gear up. A little bit bumpy coming out of there, but that's okay. Leave it climb. My bad. Didn't set TCAS before we took off. So we'll do this first little bit by hand, shall we? Let's get some views. We'll let autopilot do it. Some nice views on the way out of Stansted. Are you guys seriously telling me you'd rather watch a dog than me? I'm offended. There we go. So it's quite a tight turn, even the autopilot's struggling to maintain the flight path there. Yeah, fair point, Harry. Fair point. Flight level 350 today. A little bit bumpy. It's a little bit bumpy, in fact. We've got our turn coming up now. Frame rate seems to be holding up, which is good. Oh, you're running live, Harry. Make sure you're running live. Easy mistake to make that one. I do it quite a lot. I must admit, I started entertaining the idea of a new GPU last night. You don't need one, you don't need one, you don't need one. But yeah, but it would be cool. I'm such a sucker for GPUs. Right, so this is our waypoint. We need to be at 4,000 feet. And then from beyond that, we can go up to flight level 350, which we will. I really wish they'd sort out the shadows on this game. Flight sim shadows are weird. In my graphics settings video that hopefully will come out soon, it's just taken ages to edit. Way longer than I thought it would. Kind of made the point that with the shadow settings, it's like even if you have it at max, it just looks weird anyway, so why not just run it at low? Okay, let's disarm those ground spoilers now. We're up and away. Now we can begin our climb. Going up to 350 now. Sweet, hello! How are you? You got a headache? Yeah, me too. Join the club. Interestingly, the stats think we're 4 hours away, when in fact we're about 2.5 hours away. So descending's really weird, AV Geek, because I looked on ChartFox for some charts and it came up with an error saying, sorry, we don't... Oops. My new mouse is not helping me here. Thank you, that's better. ChartFox said it didn't have any charts and they're very sorry, so I was like, okay, maybe it's just ChartFox. And I jump into the plane, select the runway, and there was just no stars to get us in. So it's literally, say it's flight level 350 until this waypoint that is like right by the airport at 3,000. As I was saying prior, so this is, we're going to take manual control at this waypoint, GZO. Zoom out a touch. So we go to the next waypoint, which is actually Sudox, which is where we need to be at 3,000. So the idea is we go in a straight line from GZO down to Sudox and do a turn, almost like a teardrop turn I guess, and back in on final. But we want to begin our final approach here. And the plane has just completely missed the point, I think, on what's trying to take place. So we'll fly ourselves out to Sudox, sort of do this teardrop shape, beginning at Sudox, so we'll come out to here, loop around, back in, final on the ILS. That's the plan. Right, let me get some stuff on my other monitor. .350, Harry. 35,000. That's the one. 350 down to 030. Absolutely right. So we're currently heading out to the west at the moment. Don't know if we can see anything down there that would be a landmark of any sort. Looks like some kind of motorway, I don't know which one though. Cheers, Peter. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Harry. Yeah, it's terrible when they go. Yeah, they're with us for such a short time, really, aren't they? You become so attached to them. My dog's called Harvey. He is the best dog ever. Like, we couldn't have asked for a better dog. It's just such a good dog. It's always a bit worrying, obviously, when we had the children come along, thinking like, because obviously we had the dog first, it's like, oh, is he going to be a problem with the children? I really hope he's not going to be a problem with the children, and he wasn't. He was just like the best dog ever. He would just sit by them the whole time. Almost like he's guarding. They're definitely very smart creatures. Like they know when something's wrong. Like if one of the children's like poorly or something, he'll just sit by their feet the entire day. Won't leave their side. How does he know that? How does he know something's up with him? Because he doesn't normally do that. So we're going to be heading down over to France. Then we're just going to catch the top of Italy. Kind of run down alongside the west coast of Italy, straying further from it the further south we go. And I think we go right over Sicily. Oh, Jalise, how's it going? Didn't see you there. Is that Heathrow down there? That is, isn't it? Yeah, that's Heathrow, because you got the reservoirs just after the, before the runways. Huh. Ah, Loco's here. Very well, thank you, Loco. How are you? What are we thinking about the Saturday stream time? So there's the south coast. Thinking about a long haul, eh? I must admit, I thought about it myself. I might be pushing it for time. I thought maybe I could do like a London to JFK or something like that today. But I've got some other things I want to do today, so... I must admit, I do feel hindered by my current stream schedule, but I don't have any other choice. Like, real life is dictating that, really. Yeah, it's funny you say that, Harry. I'm trying to get better at the Salty Sim 747, especially now I've got the Boeing yoke. It's like that seems to make sense. Yeah, it's tricky with the current stream schedule. It really is. Like, the mornings are... two mornings and the 2 evenings. Yeah, I don't know what to do for the best. You want to get the 777? I'm waiting for the PMDG 777, Harry. That's going to be great. Beluga, there you are. How are you? Thank you for the kind words. Does the sim have the A350? It doesn't have a study level A350, as far as I'm aware. It might be one of those things where someone's made like a skin. Like, I know, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have an A380 because Fly-by-Wire haven't released theirs yet. But someone did make like a skin, which is essentially the A320, but it looks like a A380. So yeah, I don't know. So what's that down there? Is that Brighton? It must be Brighton. I'm just checking in on the results of the poll. 15 votes, 87% say they want commentary. That's kind of a relief. That is a relief. I'll tell you, the only reason I did that poll was because I was thinking back to when I started live streaming on the channel. And originally I didn't have my mic set up. So I would just fly without any mic, without any music, just the engine noise, and basically just put the...
Flight deck, your captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As we begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to keep your seat belts clear from the aisle as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley carts shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley when the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Right. now that announcement is finished. Yeah, I would basically just set the plane going and then, you know, put it to a view like that for the whole way. And the view numbers were amazing. Really, really good. But the average view duration was not. So it's almost like a bit of a vanity metric in a way. I remember one stream I got 6,500 views. I was like, damn, I got 6,500 views. That's amazing. But then like the watch time, average watch time was so low. So clearly 6,500 people more or less came, had a look and were like, nah. So I don't know whether that must have been the YouTube algorithm chucking my content out to a wide audience, figuring out who actually wants to see it, and then dialing it back from there. So I mean, this is a bit niche really, isn't it? As content goes, this is quite niche. AV Geek, I can maybe zoom the map out. Give me a sec. I think maybe that's a bit too far out. Let's go the next one down. So basically the flight plan ends right at the bottom of that window, like where the text is. Yeah, as you can see, we're just gonna catch the north of Italy and kind of track down its western coast, but the more south we go, the further away from it we get. See if your sim doesn't crash. Loco, I'm sure it'll be fine. We haven't had a crash, touch wood, in a long time. So France is coming up. There we go. It's really not far, is it, over to France, across the channel? "90 miles, apparently, from Plymouth to Roscoff on the ferry." I only know this because I was on that ferry once with some friends and we were having a spirited debate about how far we think it is. And we were all coming up with these crazy numbers like 200 miles, 300 miles, 50 miles, like all over the map. And in the end, one of the people that was like, I don't know, working at the bar or whatever, just came over and said, "It's 90 miles. I was like, "Oh, thank you." Should we let the passengers out? I suppose we should. And they can use the toilets and start spending money buying drinks. That's what we want. I must admit, I did find that funny last year when we flew to Prague. So we flew with Eurowings. They were so on it with the like wearing of the masks. They wouldn't let you on the plane without one. They were like, you must wear it at all times. Like there was no flexibility. And you know, for good reason. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll wear the mask, no problem. I know people came down, different opinions on the mask, whatever. That's not the point of this discussion. It's more that they were so like, you must wear a mask, you must wear a mask. It's like, okay, we'll wear the mask. And then they're like, right, who wants a drink? You can take your mask off if you want a drink. It's like, oh, okay, so when it's time for you to make some money, it's a different story. Got it. So also, if you're eating, you can take the mask off. By the way, does anybody want some snacks? So if you were that bothered, you would not offer the drinks and the snacks. So are you going to do that in real time, Loco? Is there any word yet on the Aerosoft A330? Last I heard, it was like, I think they said it was like 90% done or something. LBA, what's that, Leeds Bradford? There comes a point, I think, with the long haul stuff that bothers me is the energy usage. But that adds up. It really does. I'm just looking at some stats here. My GPU is currently using 150 watts, my processor is using 60 watts, so that's 210. Add in the RAM, add in the SSDs, add in inefficiencies within the power supply, so what's actually being drawn from the wall is probably closer to 300, I would imagine. Add in my monitors. Got 3 of those, they're probably about 50 watts a piece at their current brightness level. That's almost 500 watts an hour. £20 a kilowatt hour for us. And that's because we're locked into a crazy good deal. Like, the energy company must hate us because like their prices have obviously gone up loads. Hence they charge everyone else so much more now. But they're obliged to keep us on this really low rate. But my point is, if you're going to do a 10-hour flight, that's 5 kilowatts of energy, that's £1. And I know, you know, you might say, well, that's only £1. It's like, okay, if you do that every day, that's £30 a month. Becomes a not insignificant amount. That's like £360 a year. We up to 10 viewers? No way. I keep considering getting an air conditioner for in here for the summer. But again, like those things would, I mean, an air conditioner would dwarf what my PC uses. I imagine an air conditioner would sit there at probably 750 watts. I guess once it gets down to its temperature, it might then sort of modulate on and off. It's easier to maintain a temperature than it is to get to one, I guess, but yeah. Sydney to Melbourne, yeah, sure. Yeah, you're probably okay, Loco, on a 1050. And just because your power supply is 450, it doesn't mean that's what it's using, of course, does it? It has the potential to deliver that should the components require it. Yeah, AV Geek, no problem at all. We'll do Sydney, Melbourne again. Maybe even do it on Monday. It's been a while since we've done that flight. Maybe we'll do it in the 737. Because the last time we did it, we did like a tour of Australia in the A320. Maybe we could do it in the 737. And to be honest, I need to practice in the 737. If you've watched any of the 737 streams, you'll know that I am less than competent in it. I feel like in this aircraft, for the most part, I'm alright. It's rare that I mess up significantly in an A320 now. Just because you kind of get a feel for all the buttons, you sort of know what's going on. 737, if I hear like a noise, like a bonger go off or a buzzer, it's like, oh no, what's happened? I don't know. I think what it is, Loco, I'm just paranoid about energy use now. I made the mistake, I bought one of those energy meters off of Amazon. So it's a thing you plug into the wall, then you plug your device into that, and it gives you an instant readout of power consumption. So of course now I'm going like around the house, plugging everything into it, just being shocked and outraged the entire time. But I didn't know you were using that much power. The biggest one was the freezer. We got a freezer outside, like a chest freezer, out in the garage. It's been there for years. And we keep like, we don't use it enough, basically. We would keep like 2 loaves of bread in it, and that would be it. Begs the question why we had it on at all. But I was like, okay, let's just plug that in. It's using £21 a month in electricity. £21 for a freezer. But suffice to say, it got switched off. Oh, damn it, I've still got my landing lights on. Man, this airline is rubbish. Wouldn't fly with us. Too busy chatting to you all, that's what it is. One flight only today, I'm afraid. I need to get re-ranked on Halo after this. The new season's dropped. I may stream that on my other channel. Yeah, I think with power, the biggest surprise was our plasma screen TV. Like, I always knew that plasmas used a bit more energy than other stuff like LCD, but I thought, well, it can't be that much. Yeah, it really is. So for context, to do this for my simming, I've got a 43-inch LG 4K LCD. Quite a cheap one, relatively. It's not like an expensive TV, more one of their budget ones. And that uses about 40 or 50 watts. Whereas the plasma, you're looking at about 200 to 250. So 5 times the energy. 5 times. Yeah, Harry, don't do that, blimey. Oof. Right, I'll be back in 2 minutes. My coffee's gone cold, and frankly, I just want another one, so I won't be long. Enjoy the views. Right, I'm back. When am I bringing the dog out? The dog is currently fast asleep. I think this will be it for flights today, a big gig. Apologies. So making progress. We are getting down over France. So I'm going to try something in a moment. Taking a little bit of a risk. I've got my PS5 out here, and the free game, they give me some free games every month because of like when you sign up to play online, their PlayStation Plus service. And the free game was actually Battlefield 2042 this month, so pretty good. I'm going to try and download it, but I'm just conscious that the download might cause issues. Hope it doesn't. So in not too long, we're going to make a turn to the left. And then we should have the Alps in front of us as we cross over to Italy. Sort of running between the western coast of Italy, Corsica, Sardinia, sort of run down the sea in between there. Head over to Sicily, at which point we'll be almost there. Probably Monday, AP Geek, so we'll do Sydney-Melbourne Monday, shall we? That'll be about 9:15 AM UK time, so translate that into whatever it is in your local time. Oh no. Well, maybe we can do that on Wednesday. Save Sydney-Melbourne for Wednesday, if that would work. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. That's cool. What's my dream flight? I don't know, actually. I think I just like, in general, I like shorter flights. Like today, we're having a bit of a chill one today, so we're doing a bit of a longer one. But any which way you cut it, much more than an hour in cruise is quite a long time. So yeah, I think from my perspective, I would much rather do, I don't know, Stansted to Dublin return, or Heathrow to Edinburgh return, something where it's about an hour up in the sky, because you're never that far away from a landing, something happening, as opposed to like a long haul to say JFK, where it's like the exciting bit is to take off, then it's like, okay, now we sit here for 8 hours. I think that's a bit of a hard sell, really, both for me as a content creator to sit there and do that, and also to expect the audience to do that. I mean, you might get the odd one or two that want that and will actually sit through the whole thing and get something out of it, but yeah, Sydney-Melbourne 1 hour, perfect. We can maybe go back to Sydney if we have the time. That sounds great. But if you're not careful, you can kind of just sit here twiddling your thumbs after a while and be like, come on. Especially if chat's busy, it's great. I could do it all day long with a busy chat, but it's when you get a quiet chat, you start thinking like, oh, this is going to drag. Maybe that's just me being selfish, but It's a funny one with the long hauls. Like, I know a lot of people have asked me for them, but I'm just not convinced that enough people would actually want that. Because it's a big investment in terms of time from my point of view. Like, it wipes out an entire day, and at the moment I don't have those days to kind of give away like that. But for argument's sake, if I could do it, I'm still not entirely convinced that it would be, whether the juice would be worth the squeeze. Right, I'm back on the mic. How are we all doing? Christian, how you doing? So we're 423 miles away from Malta, our airport. So just thinking about top of descent planning. General rule of thumb. So we need to be down at 3,000 feet before we go on to final. So rule of thumb is take your flight level. So we're at 35,000 feet, so we take 35, multiply that by 3, that gives us 105, add 10, takes us to 115. That is roughly the amount of miles we will need to descend and to slow down. Roughly. That is very much a rule of thumb though. So there's another way we can do it. We have a top of descent calculator built into the plane. So 35,000 feet we are at, and we're going down to 3,000 feet. We'll do that at 2,000 feet per minute. Now this gives us another 10 miles on top of that, so it thinks we need 125 miles. But that's all good. 125, so what are we now? 410. 285 miles from top of descent. Which sounds like a lot, but when you're doing these sorts of speeds, it's not as far as you might think. Appreciate you all coming by the stream today. Bit of an odd one for me, doing a Saturday stream. Not entirely sure how it's going to go in terms of people showing up, because it's not my usual time. If you could do me a favour, if you haven't already, could you hit that like button? It really helps the stream, it really helps the channel. And it costs you nothing. It's your airfare for today, one press of that like button. Let's just go over that plan on the way in one more time, just because I'm very aware that we need to be on it. So I think the plan is we'll take manual control here at GZO, and then we go straight out to Sudox. This is where we need to be at 3,000 feet. Now you can see here the plane has just completely messed this up. We should be going out to Sudox, doing almost like one of these teardrop shaped turns, but the plane has just been like, nope, we'll just do that straight away here, and then land in the middle of the runway at the wrong angle, which makes no sense whatsoever. I think the plane is just, it's a bug. So we'll come out to Sudox, come out a bit further, do one of those teardrop style turns, back in on Sudox, onto final at 3,000 feet. Then we've got Sukhao. Then by this point we'd have picked up the ILS and we'll be straight in. Then we should be in business. What is the weather doing? Is the question. Oh lordy, that's a bit of wind, isn't it? Okay, this could be interesting. 18 knots, and we're landing on runway 31. And the wind is coming in at 2, so that's a 50-degree delta. That's going to be quite a bit of wind, you know. That could be interesting, seeing as I'm not that good at crosswind landings. So we'll have to see. Until then, we'll soak up the views and put that to the back of our mind. Stick up to Rhodes. That could be cool. That could be cool. What would that be in terms of flight time? That's got to be, what, 3 hours? Three hours and 5 minutes according to Google. That wasn't a bad guess. Yeah, that's a nice idea. That is a nice idea. That sounds like a cool route. I must admit I do struggle sometimes coming up with the routes. I sort of look at Google Maps and then obviously all the big city names kind of jump out first, and you forget like the more obscure destinations. It's easy to just think, oh, I'll do London to somewhere else that's big, you know, like Paris or Rome. So that marks 200 miles from top of descent now. 200 miles and then we'll start making our way down. But not far now. Not far at all. Pixel, how's it going? Nice to see you. How's things? very well, thank you. Very well indeed. AV Geek, you back? How you doing? I think today has proven to me what my stream strategy should be. Just looking at the analytics for the stream. Can I speak any languages? No, well, English. But, yeah, no. I did a little bit of French in school. I'm ashamed to say, I cannot. Hey Gregory, I'm actually playing just offline at the moment, so not on any server currently. Peter's back. Everyone's coming back. You're coming back at once. What's going on? No, sorry, Gregory. No, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do some multiplayer. Could get you all involved a bit then, couldn't it? What did you miss? You just missed a very relaxing cruise. I think really, looking at the analytics for this stream today, I think I need to be doing shorter flights. I haven't done a flight this long in a little while, so I was curious how it would go. I did suspect that people would drop off once we kind of, took off, got up to cruise, and that is exactly what happened. And now the nearer we get to the destination, the stream's starting to pick back up again, which I can understand. It's a long old time to look out a window for 2 hours, isn't it? The sea. So, but I think on the shorter flights that we do, if we were to do a flight that's, say, an hour, maybe, I don't know, we were saying earlier, like Stansted to Dublin, that's the kind of flight where there's always something going on. Like, you're never that far away from the next thing happening. There's never a point where it's like, okay, we're sort of done with all the doing of the stuff, and now it's just cruise for 3 hours. And I noticed those streams have much better engagement. There's more people that watch throughout. There's less dips. So maybe I need to do more of that and less of this kind of thing. I know some people ask for long haul, but really I can't see that being viable. If a 3 hour flight doesn't really work, I can't see an 8 hour one working either. Melbourne to Tasmania. How long would that be? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, somewhere between like an hour. It's the first part of the flight, you're getting up to cruise, and then it's basically the cruise, I think, that can be a bit of a drag for some people. And I don't blame the people. I sometimes get a little bit bored during a long cruise. It's a big ask. Unless it's the kind of thing that people like, I don't know, if they're like studying or doing some work on their computer and they've got it open on the second monitor, and it's not like the primary focus of their attention. Yeah, it's too bad, Gregory, sorry. I mean, I turned off the multiplayer component just because early on, when I was starting to stream, I didn't even realise you could turn it off. I just had it on by default and forgot all about it, started streaming, and you'd be on final approach, kind of trying to do things relatively properly, and you would just get like a 747 like come from above you and just completely cut you up on final. It's like, alright. Maybe it's time we turn that off. There's Sicily. So we're going to fly over Sicily, a bit more sea, and then we'll be into Malta. I wonder if there's a way with the multiplayer that just comes with the game, so no like add-ons or anything. Is there a way that we could do like a private room, like a private kind of multiplayer, whereby I could share a link or the details for said thing, and anyone that wants to join could join? I must admit, Peter, I've completely forgotten all about that. I've been so busy with editing videos and stuff, it's like that's the last thing on my mind. I'm currently making a graphics settings video because people keep asking me. That's one of the main, probably the most common comment that I get is, what are your graphics settings? So I'm making a video explaining what mine are, but also trying to add some commentary around it to what yours might be, because it's really difficult, because I can tell you what mine are, but then that doesn't really help you, because you might have a completely different system, you might be running at a completely different resolution. Yeah, I do use Discord for gaming with friends, like I play a lot of Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, that kind of stuff, so I use it for that, I just don't use it for this channel, you see what I mean? It's mostly like a social thing for me right now, rather than a tool for this channel. Yeah, I've got another YouTube channel that I do all my other stuff on. Something tells me that streaming Call of Duty on this channel probably wouldn't go down well. I'm gonna be like, what? Wait, what is this? I didn't sign up for this. Alright, we are 80 miles away from top of descent. Not far to go now. So as we said earlier, the plan is we're going to go straight down to 3,000 feet. There's no kind of stepping us down bit by bit. Straight down to 3,000. We'll obviously also need to slow down significantly as well along the way, so we'll try and manage our energy properly. See if we can avoid using the old speed brake, but you never know. Slightly concerned by the wind coming into Malta. At that 270 and 17 knots. So the good news is the wind is moving around. It was at 260 degrees earlier, and it was at, I think, a little bit more than 17 knots. So it is slowly moving around to be in our favour. So 270, 17, 101. So time to put this in. 1010. 270/17. What's the temperature on the ground? 19. We're 30 miles now from top of descent. So probably just as we begin leaving Sicily, we'll get that on the go. We've got 32,000 feet to lose. It's quite a lot. About 2,000 feet per minute. Should be about 16 minutes of descent time as we come into Malta. And we'll see what that wind's going to look like for us, because that is not nothing, that wind. And I do struggle a little bit in the wind. It's still a part of my simming that I'm yet to perfect. We also have to keep in mind we have a tailwind currently, so that's not going to be helping us massively with our descent. has changed at all. 270.17, so it's 40 degrees. It was 50 degrees off, so we're going to be hitting us from... So it'll be hitting us from the left-hand side of the aircraft. It's starting to get cold, actually. We're going to start our descent, because we are about there now. 127 miles away. It says we need 125 miles by the time we've done this. So, engines dropping back, descent starting. Right, I'm going to go and turn my air system off because I'm starting to get cold in here.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for off-road. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
That's better. So that is Malta up ahead. What are we at now? Coming up on 25,000. Probably should get the passengers back in their seats. Brilliant. So we are 75 miles away from the runway. 27 miles away from where I said we'd take manual control, 26 now, because this is where the plane gets confused at Sudox. It's going to try and turn us in more or less as we get to the airport, because we're going to go past the airport. We're back. Yeah, as you can see, it's getting wildly confused here. We want to be going... You can see it's drawing this teardrop shape here. It's just getting itself so confused. We want to be going out to Sudox, then doing a turn, then coming back in on final. Whereas the plane has just got completely confused. That's okay. There's Malta. Fingers crossed for the landing. Quite a bit of wind to be landing in this. Alright, I'm going to start taking manual control of the speed now. Get it out of manage mode. Because we need to be dropping down to 250 knots now. Ashy, we're just coming into land. So we've got a manual heading selected because plane was getting quite confused about us turning, so we're going to head out straight to Sudox, do like a like a teardrop shaped turn to do a 180, come back in on final. And then there's our runway, just there. See if we can keep our descent rate at 2,000 feet per minute. We've actually got some wind by the look of it, actually, so the smoothness... I'm going to need some speed brakes. Smoothness might not be what we get, if I'm being completely honest with you. There we go. Okay, coming up on 10,000 feet, so let's get our lights on. Think about our auto brakes. We'll do auto brake medium, reverse idle. Local pressure is still 1010, yes it is. Wind is still 270 and 17, so that's what I mean about that wind. That's going to be a problem. For me at least. So there's Malta down there. Not sure if we'll see the airport, we may do. Right under us, I think. We've got landing system ready. It's got the ILS stuff, albeit we're heading away from the airport, but you can see that we are still above the glide slope. So really, we're going to stay where we are for now. And we'll make a turn out towards about 100 degrees and then come back around. Yes, we'll be landing in a moment. Beluga. Yes, we will. Hopefully. We're going to have a nasty crosswind, I think. So, might not be the greatest. I do struggle in the wind. That is my weakness, I don't mind admitting. So we'll see how that goes. So now we're going to do like a little teardrop kind of a turn. we're going to head away from our waypoint. How much estimate? You mean how long till we land? Maybe 5 or 10? Now then, if I do a temporary direct... where will that take us, I wonder? Work, couldn't it? You can see the wind on the waves there. Galloping horses, I think they call that. You can kind of get a sense of what direction the wind is coming from. There's Malta back over there. By the time we get to Sukul, we'll have about 10 miles. AG line. Yeah, it's windy down here today. Windy, windy, windy. Cheers, Beluga. I don't think I can, because I don't think the plane exists, to my knowledge. Happy to be proven wrong on that, though. Okay, let's start slowing ourselves down, shall we? So the wind at the moment is actually completely in our favour. It's not at all what was advertised. Although there is every chance that Flight Sim will, or the live weather will just like change at the last minute. They're just going down to our approach speed now of 144 knots. go. So the wind here on the ND is saying 308 degrees, which is really handy for us because we're landing at 310 degrees, 47 knots. But if we look at this, it's saying 270 and 17, which is a massive difference. I appreciate we're still at 3,000 feet, so the winds may change, especially as we get inland. Yeah, Beluga, we were actually talking about that earlier. On Wednesday, we're going to do Sydney to Melbourne. Potentially back to Sydney, if there's time. That should be cool. That'll be Wednesday morning from 9:15 AM UK time. So, whatever that is in your time zone. I don't honestly know what time that'll be in Australia. Right, let's not mess this up, shall we? Be an awful shame. I'm not convinced by that weather. I feel like it's going to change. If you notice the plane shake violently at any point, that will be what that is. Look at the crab we're currently doing as well. We're doing quite a big crab. We'll start ourselves off with a little bit of approach mode. I'm not at all convinced this weather isn't going to rapidly change on us. Go around procedures, fly straight ahead, then do a left up to 4,000 and go around and have another go basically, so. Glide slope intercepted. Well, so far, I mean, this could work quite nicely. This could work quite nicely. Keeping an eye on that wind direction. 300 degrees, I can live with that. 270, not so much.
2,500.
Gear down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Okay, so we've got gear down. Lights are on. Speed brake. Armed, flaps full. Okay, that wind is changing. 290 we're at now. $289, $288. crap is quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah, so as predicted, the wind is moving around to what was advertised. I was hoping we might get away with that, but... Man, those cliffs don't look good, do they? Almost like they need to pop in with some detail. And it did say my internet connection, or the live streaming of the landscape, stopped earlier. Alright. My aircraft.
$1,000.
Come on, down you go. Need to get over to the left a little bit.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100.
Oh, this is windy.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Whoa. That was a lot of wind. I can still barely keep the plane on the centre line, even with maximum right rudder. That was loads of wind. That's crazy. Even now, just going really slow, still being pushed. If I put my rudder pedals normal, look, we go immediately to the left. I need full right rudder. That was a tricky landing, that. That was a lot of wind. Felt like we went a little bit low at one point there, on short final. Yeah, that was a challenge, that one. That was a challenge. Thank goodness we weren't in the 737, because I'm not sure I'd have made that. Yeah, that was some crazy wind. I need to get better at my crosswinds. I might just practice that off stream a lot. Great scenery, guys. Look at that. Great job. Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't bad, like you say. Did you notice the plane almost like getting really shaky on the way down there? It's almost like the plane was getting two sets of weather input data. Either that or it's really gusty. Maybe it's the gusts that do it. Yeah, I'm glad they're not all like that. That was tricky, that one. Very tricky indeed. But hey, we made it. We made it. Thank you all for joining me today. It's always nice to see the regulars in chat. And of course, it's nice to see some new people too. Part of me wonders whether I should have gone around. There we go, we made it. And that, I think, will conclude today's stream. Back again Monday, I believe. Monday morning, 9:15 AM. I may practice my crosswinds a little bit before then. I need to get better at crosswinds. It's one of those where they don't happen all the time, so I kind of get away with it on stream, because quite often you just get like a normal landing, normal wind conditions, but when you do get a crosswind, I sort of go like, oh no, this one's going to be bad. So it would be nice to get much better at them, but it's just so difficult. So difficult. But we'll get there. It's all part of the fun, it's all part of the learning. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. You all have a great weekend, have a great rest of your day, and all being well, I'll see you on Monday. Take it easy.